Now that Chinese New Year over, we are officially kicking the year in style because the next 2 to 3 months we'll see very interesting launches scattered all over Singapore. And yes, this video will be our launch of first half 2026 if the price matches up to what I will share in this video. And pardon me if this video is longer than usual. I'm ready. I think it's easily 30 to 35 minutes because there's so much to talk about it. Now, sidetrack a little bit. At this point of recording, Riverfront is entering the final week of preview. I guesstimate that the sales figure should be like between 60 to 70% given their starting price was much higher than expected. Now, whether it hits the higher percentage of like 80-90% sell out depends pretty much on whether the premium loaded is heavy on the river facing or not. Now, truth be told, I don't expect Guacoland to want to sell this as quickly, so a 60-70% sell out should be quite satisfactory in their eyes. Who knows? The 4-bedroom I want to highlight, the 1H20 square feet, is really a rare sight these days where we hardly get such a big space, bearing the common bedroom being only like 9 square meters for a new launch. I think the higher price tag shouldn't deter that many people from getting it due to its scarcity. It does have characteristics of an older resale property in it. The people buying this just buy it. Same for upper house. So let's see. So yes, the next 2 to 3 months will be exciting. We are going to get quite some bit in the OCR area. We will get our atas OCR in Vela Bay, which I have covered in our previous video. We will then get the other like normal CRLs in Lentor Gardens, Tengah Residences, mixed development, which I will cover in the next few videos, and what I will cover today. The launch to rival our initial pick of first half 2025, Parktown, which was rescinded because it shares the same convenience, it shares the same attributes. It is Pinery Residences.
Disclaimer, whatever I share does not constitute financial advice. It is solely based on my opinion on what is right or wrong. So please do your own due diligence. If you're liking the content so far, please hit the like and subscribe button as your simple gesture will help a lot with the YouTube algorithm. If you are interested to find out more about property related matters, please find all the social media handles I am on, or you can just directly reach out to me on WhatsApp. Separately, I have also set up a Telegram group at the start of the year so that we can have a discussion that we as agents are not allowed to do so online, which is to talk shit. So if you are interested to get into a community that talks about everything under the sun about property, please scan the QR code, or for the boomers out there, I have pasted the link in my description. We're going to close the group invitation in probably a month or 2 times, so head over and I will see you there. Now back to the video.
Now, about a year back, I remembered picking out Parktown as our launch of first half 2025 if certain price range was matched. But unfortunately, it launched much higher than expected, and given the sizes didn't have that advantage of harmonization, meaning sizes were relatively larger. The per square foot was not only that cheap, the absolute price tag was also pretty high. Of course, Parktown did pretty well. They're left with only that many units left, but I always like to remind everyone, a hot selling project might mean something, but it's selling like 80-90% on first day doesn't mean you instantly have gotten a good deal. I mean, you might have gotten a good one, but there's really more to it. The attributes for the development Parktown is fantastic. It's almost a perfect recipe. You got the Tampines upgraders because everyone knows that the demand for Tampines properties are usually very, very, very crazy. You get an integrated development, you got the presence of schools, you have almost everything, but price will still dictate whether it's worth the hype or it's just normal. Now in this case, the price was more on the higher side. Granted, they will still almost all make money, but what I'm here after is about trying to find the one that can best yield you the returns at any one point of time. Like, I'm trying my best to find the absolute best one. Okay, I might be wrong at the end, but rather than just saying, okay, you can like make 300 to 400k. I'm trying to find the one that can make the most, maybe like 500-600k. And naturally, anything that shares the same characteristic as Parktown residences will catch my attention. So today we go to the mature part of Tampines West to look at the Pinery residences using the lens of our QPE framework to see if we might have something very interesting both from an investment or from an own use perspective. Now, some introduction about Pinery residences, developers Hoi Hub and Sunway Development picked it up for like, I think it's about 1,004, slightly above 1,000 per square foot per plot ratio. Now, if you add everything all up, the projected break-even price according to HProp stands at about 1,823 per square foot. You add 8% to that due to harmonization, we end up likely from a starting price of 1,968 per square foot. If I put a 10 to 20% profit margin, we should see the range of like 2,165 to 2,361 PSF. But will I see them launching at this range given it's a mixed development? I have learned from my past mistake in Parktown where I kind of like underestimated the launch price. So this time round, I will put a higher number of between 2,003 to 2,500 per square foot to give it a much better stress test. So what has Hoi Hub given to us in recent times? They have given to us quite a number of EC in recent times. The two Tengah ones, Auto and Novo Place, of course in Tengah, Park Central in Tampines, Park Canberra in Canberra. Now the notable key residences, which is a very, very lovely development, the so-so development in Continuum and Terra Hills. And because of these two developments where there were quite a fair bit of price reduction along the way, consumers are like questioning the Hoi Hub reputation quite some bit. This is based on my on-the-ground sentiments. And truth be told, I think there's no issues on the developers and nor their price strategy. I think it's just about the location and the product by default. It's really hard to move. So that's about it, nothing more. On the ground, we also haven't heard much negative stuff about it, so I don't think there's really much to worry about. Sunway, on the other hand, has recently gotten into more action. They bought over MCL land to rebrand itself as Sunway MCL. Now, MCL, of course, developed plenty of very good projects in the past with the notable Nava Grove, Alta and Park Esta that rings into most people's mind. Aside from the usual top dogs in Singapore, this is one that doesn't fare too far off. Now, some context before I start analysing with the QPE framework, and that is to understand Tampines a little bit better. Now, disclaimer, I'm applying my knowledge based on my years of experience serving resale buyers in this part of the East. If what I'm about to go to share next about Tampines is wrong or if it rubs you off the wrong way, somehow chill lah, okay? So what about Tampines that I'm going to touch on? I'm going to touch on the different hotspots. Okay, why is this important? Because this is a very mature estate in Singapore, but not every cluster in Tampines is considered mature, okay? Some are relatively newer. Now, the Tampines Avenue 10 estate, where the stretch of properties where Century, Tapestry and the Arc, and then you have Tampines North cluster where we have the Parktown launched last year, are generally newer estates, okay? I believe so. Now, the Tampines West, Tampines South, where Treasures Tampines is, Tampines Central and Tampines East are more mature enclaves. The more mature enclaves have plenty of pull power as it's very often an emotional thing. Buyers wanting to be closer to where they lived in previously because there's always that element of nostalgia in mature estates, okay? Not only that, mature spots tend to give you more of like the old school amenities, wet markets for example. This is just very different, if you get what I mean. And this is one advantage that Pinery gives you. It teeters at the edge of the mature spots and sits right on top of a mall that serves this part of Tampines. And not only that, I believe the malls will attract plenty of footfall from the Bedok Reservoir region as the cluster there basically has not much amenities. So people from the Bedok Reservoir area might also be interested in this because it's just like one stop away. Now, one big difference is also the MRT line, because this is the downtown line, and this line is already easily between 10 to 13 years old depending on stations, and it brings residents to the CBD area, which the Cross Island line doesn't. So this can be a small deal breaker for some. For me, it doesn't really matter as I drive, but I'm pretty sure it's important if it's important. So is it important for you? I think it has an advantage for sure. Now that that's out of the way, let's dive into our QPE framework to understand why this stands out above all the pretty good launches we will get in the next 3 months. And along the way, if I sound like a broken record, please pardon me, as I will be comparing this a lot with Parktown residences, because rightfully this is your closest competition in the coming years. So QPE framework, first circle, quality. Point number 1, land size, facilities, and facade. 6 blocks of 588 units, with almost all of them facing the north-south, except only like maybe a handful facing like east-west. Sits on a pretty impressive land size of close to 250,000 square feet of land space, 250,000 square feet. Comes with an 80% car park allocation, 121,000 square feet of commercial space. Now, to give you some context, just in case you don't understand, Lentor modern commercial GFA stands at about like 96,000 square feet. Parktown 1 is around 135,000 square feet, but compromises of the bus interchange, whatnot ever. One interesting point that you must take note is there will be a basement entrance and pathway that leads you to the MRT itself. So although this is a mixed development on paper, doesn't this feel like almost like an integrated development, except we don't get like maybe a bus interchange? Full condo facilities that splits into 3 different zones. One is the Vitality Sanctuary, where most adults are, with like the 50-meter lap pool. Basically, the name suggests that it means like kids, please get out of here and go to one corner, which is the family oasis. Clearly where the combination of kids and adult amenities are, and at one corner in what is likely the noisiest part of development, the Lake Cove. Now, tennis court is here, but fun fact, this is the first time I see a multi-purpose court and tennis court incorporated into one. A little bit weird, because if this gets turned into like a half basketball court, the floor will damage very, very quickly. Because as a hardcore tennis player, I don't want that to happen, man. But anyway, it's fine. I'm not staying there. Moving on, it is also where all the barbecue pits, kids' playgrounds are located at. So in terms of the facilities and facade, I think this will kind of lose out to Parktown residences definitely. And rightfully so, because Parktown land size is double of this. So naturally, they can push up more on what they can offer in terms of facilities. But Pinery on its own, this is just about enough. Nothing too extraordinary or out of this world. What you need in a condo, you will just get that. Especially a mixed development that functions almost like an integrated development. There's really nothing more that you can ask for. Point number 2, layout and pricing, and this again is where I will spend the most time in this video to talk about, and this is one of the reasons why this stands out. So stay with me, okay? And you need to understand that even though I see this as our launch of first half 2026, it doesn't mean every unit type will have an advantage. As we go through all the floor plans and put a price tag out there, you then understand what I'm trying to say. Anyway, the smallest unit type, 624 square feet dumbbell layout. There's nothing much to talk about this smaller dumbbell layout. It's like every other dumbbell, 2 bed, 1 bath everywhere. So if I let's say put a 23 to 25 per square foot range, as I mentioned, means it could range from like between 1.435 to about $1.56 million. Now, Parktown does theirs at between like 1.33 all the way to like $1.47 million. So for this, sorry, I have to favor Parktown residences a little bit more. I know in the entire market right now, there's hardly any 2 bed, 1 bath near MRT at this price range, but this is still something to watch out for. Now, next up, the 2 bed, 2 bath series, and from this unit type onwards, they will have a small little stock. A very small, but still better than nothing. The 667 square feet conventional layout and the 635 square feet dumb layout. Not dumbbell, you heard it right. Not dumbbell layout, but dumb layout. Now this, why is it dumb? Now this 635 square feet house enters into a toilet on the right hand side. Okay, then on the left hand side is the washer dryer, and small little store. Okay, fine. Turns right straight into the bedroom 2. Like, huh? Okay lah, bedroom 2 will likely look big on paper, but the extra space really goes into that wasted walkway. Then you have a small window at the corner, really small, almost one panel only. I don't know, man. I can tell you that the room will be fairly dark. Never mind. Not enough. Exiting the bedroom leads you to the open concept kitchen. Brother, come on, man. It means that when you do some like heavy cooking with the induction cooker, your bedroom 2 will be in trouble, you know? Okay, is that all? Nope. The master bedroom window opens out to the aircon latch, which means that it's most likely half window, either by having it like frosted at the bottom or literally only like a half window thing. So for this unit type, it's a hard sell, man. The slightly larger one, still not too bad with a more conventional layout with all rooms stuck at one corner, the 667 square feet, no enclosed kitchen. This looks exactly like a Jadescape 2-bedroom unit. If you know it, you know it. But for a non-dumbbell layout, I find it quite sad not to have windows in the toilets. I know it's not a corner unit, but usually the conventional layouts gets offset with windows in the bathroom. So all in all, the 2-bed, 2-bath layouts ain't the greatest. I can handpick easily a bunch of them that is better than this, but anyway, let's look at this, 2,300 to 2,500 per square foot. This will cost somewhere between 1.46 to 1.58 for the smaller one, and like $1.53 million through to like maybe 1.67 for the larger one. Parktown, 2-bed, 2-bath, transacts theirs at between 1.55 all the way to 1.75. So from a price perspective, we are about the same range. Of course, the 635 square feet dumb layout will likely be cheaper, but wow, the layout really, I have nothing to say. Right? Parktown layouts in general are much better, but if the price goes for around like 1.55 to 1.6 million dollars for the 667 square feet, it is still a fairly reasonable price. Hence, for the 2-bed, 2-bath layouts, it's quite on par with Parktown. If the price is good enough, it's still worth a look. But yeah, Parktown layouts are really better lah. But that's already sold out, so we have to always move forward. And next up is the 2 plus study 700 square feet, the show flat unit. Now, this is a proper dumbbell layout with a study separating the toilet from bedroom 2. Now, this is almost an identical layout to the Parktown ones. Interestingly, here the wall can be knocked down to create a much larger second bedroom or whatever you would wish to do with it. The Parktown one cannot. And with the addition of a store, which can be quite handy in a tight space, this is not too bad. Though I have to say that the kitchen here is pretty tight, but if I take 700 times 2,003 to 2,005 per square foot, it lands us somewhere around like potentially 1.61 to about $1.75 million. Now, our friend at Parktown Residences does theirs at between 1.8 to 1.95. Now you see, if Hoi Hub starts this even at let's say 2,350 per square foot, the price of $1.65 million is still at a level that has quite a big buffer from Parktown. And for that, I think this is something you can seriously consider if you wish to go for something beyond the 2-bed, 2-bath layout, which is so-so at best. Now, 3 compact next, the 807 square feet. This is the semi-dumbbell 3-bedroom layout. Very common these days. Again, you don't get windows in the kitchen and toilets, but that's something Parktown Residences also doesn't get. Everything here is just about enough. Now, all bedrooms can put in queen, and king for the master. Kitchen is way smaller than the one at Parktown. Now, I remember the Parktown one, the kitchen is huge by 3 compact standards. But could it be a deal breaker? I think it's more likely not, and this will show evidently. Why? Because if the kitchen is much smaller, but the price gives, then that's where most buyers wouldn't mind biting the bullet for. Then the larger 861 and 872 square feet both are like more conventional layouts where rooms are all like tucked at one corner. Kitchens and toilets all got window. I think this 3-bedroom compact checks all boxes, and given all the 3 compact type all has like additional storeroom space, That again is a small plus point to have against all competitions. So 807, 2,300 to 2,500 per square foot means it's going to range between 1.85 to maybe $2.01 million. The larger 861 square feet, 1.98 to about 2.15. Now Parktown did theirs at between 2.1 to 2.2. So if you can somehow manage to get your hands on the smaller 807 square feet, that is, let's say, if you get lucky, under 1.9 to even, let's say, 1.95, that is a good buffer against competition where the pricing is even closer to the 2+ study at Parktown more than anything else. And given it's in a mass market neighborhood, the target audience for this unit type widens to more HDB upgraders. That's why I say if something is smaller but you can potentially get a bigger discount off it, it will still make sense. Now, if the same happens in the more affluent locations where such small attention to detail matters, then yes, it's probably better to have a bigger space. Definitely not in the OCR area. Then the larger 3-bedroom compact which the families buying for own use might prefer will still have it at a price range similar to Parktown. So all in all, it really depends on what you need. Okay? From a pure investment point of view, I personally think that the 807 square feet is enough. But if you're buying for own use, the 861 square feet overall still looks pretty good. Now the larger 3-bedroom premier and the 3+ study next, 990 square feet, 1012, 1023, 3 premium ones with the difference in sizes coming mainly in the entrance area and the common toilet orientation. It's the standard 3-bedroom with a bomb shelter and maid's toilets that you will see almost everywhere, even in Parktown, right? So all bedroom type, queen, king, kitchens and all have toilets, can't complain much. So if let's say you put 2.3 to 2.5 per square foot, it brings us to a range of like between 2.27 all the way to like 2.5. Parktown does that at around like 2.4 to as close as like 2.7. So given that nothing really separates them, then if you can get your hands on a lower price, just go for a lower price. Because the next unit type will probably stand out, and that's the 3+ study, 1055 square feet. Now, from the looks of it, this looks exactly like the smaller 3 bedrooms, except you get a study in the master bedroom area. But this flexi space allows you to create a much larger master bedroom, customized according to your needs. Extra wardrobe space, study itself, or even just a much larger master bedroom with a dresser table at one corner. Now at a range of 2.3 to 2.5 per square foot, we'll see it calling for like between 2.42 all the way to like maybe $2.637 million. Now, Parktown does theirs at between 2.6 all the way to as high as 2.9 for similar but larger 3+ study at 1184 square feet. But because of how efficient it is at Pinery, you are literally paying much lesser for spaces that are being sacrificed, but yet still gives you almost everything else that you would need. Like, again, the rooms are half a corner table smaller at 8.5 square meter versus like 9 square meter. Study is also slightly smaller, but all these differences for about, let's say, 200 to 300k lower or cheaper, I think that's the strength of Pinery. So for those looking for longer term own use and investment, this is a very interesting choice, but nothing beats what's next, which I think will be the best seller in Pinery, and rightfully so, the compact 4-bedroom 1141 square feet and 4+ study 1195, 1227 and 1238 square feet. More specifically, the 1141 and 1195 square feet. Now on paper, the square feet looks small, but it looks exactly like the normal 3-bedroom premium but with an additional bedroom. Now, all bedrooms, same thing, can put in queen size bed, although at 8.5 square meter, it can be better. But queen size beds are still the barometer. Can fit in, okay now, especially in the mass market neighborhood. And the good thing about this unit type is you don't have a bomb shelter. Instead, you get like a utility room which can double up as a flexi space. Other than that, what else can you nitpick about this? Nothing much. Can the living and dining space be larger? Of course. But is it enough? Yes, it is. Even if you think you want something even bigger, the marginally bigger 1195 square feet sees an additional study allocated in the living room area where It's like basically making it look like a landscape layout, but only thing is you get like a separate dining spot, and with the utility area potentially doubling up as a flexi area like the 1141 square feet, this is just about the right size you can find. Not too big, not too small. 1195 square feet to fit in a landscape layout with separate dining. I think so far I have only seen EOK 4 bedrooms 1270 square feet beating this, but other than that, nothing has come close to this. Now the larger 1227 and 1238 square feet are just like a bigger rendition in the entrance area and the utility area being converted into a bomb shelter, which most people would actually really prefer a utility room rather than like a big indoor house shelter. So 1141 times 2,300 to 2,500 per square foot will see it selling between like 2.62 all the way to like maybe 2.85, 2.748 to 2.98 million dollars for the 1195 square feet landscape layout. Isn't this similar to the price range of a 3+ study at Parktown? Why? Because the 4-bedroom Parktown does just at like between 3 to 3.2 million dollars for the larger 1335 square feet. So at like 2.6 to 2.9 million dollars, this is still the market sweet spot for a 4-bedroom in today's new launch market. So for the pure investors looking for a good size 4 bedrooms, this 1141 square feet and 11951 looks amazing. Okay, well, that is if the developers don't get too greedy launching over the price range we're looking at. Next up, 4+ study premium, the 1389 square feet. The looks in essence is like quite similar to the previous design, except in this you get a visibly larger dining space, a dry kitchen, one additional toilet, and a much larger master bedroom space that has a walk-in wardrobe. Everything about this is what you should come to expect for a premium 4-bedroom, except the terminology of the junior master bedroom that has a shared bathroom with bedroom 3. Makes the label of like junior master very meh. And bedroom 4 got no wardrobe. It's like taking a leaf out of Kingsford's playbook. I'm not sure why this is done, but whatever. Or 2,300 to 2,500 per square foot, which means it's between 3.2 to 3.42 million dollars. Again, Parktown does their 4 bedrooms at between 3 to 3.2 million dollars, and their larger 4 at like between 3.35 to about 3.5. So this at a price tag that is above 3.2 million dollars makes it look like an extravagant pick for sure if you compare with the smaller ones at Parktown. Now, it's definitely going to be cheaper than the 1485 square feet Parktown unit, but I'm guessing this is the hybrid between the both, as buyers looking for longer term own use wouldn't mind one, but given we are evaluating this from a pure investment point of view, this is a bit too much. And I got a hunch the per square foot for this will again be much higher than most. So let's wait and see how this pans out. And finally, the largest unit type, the 1475 square feet, 5 bedrooms. Now, this is definitely an upgrade to the previous 4+ study, but the upgrade doesn't feel that significant either because the previous unit type had like a study and a living room area. Now, this unit type got the 5th bedroom, the replacement of that study. You still can knock down that bedroom to make it like a much larger 4 bedrooms, but killing that bedroom loses a big appeal to families looking beyond a 4-bedroom. So kitchen is visibly bigger here. Junior master this time, it's much bigger and has its like own proper ensuite. Other than that, you can't really spot that much of a difference to the 4+ study. Okay, maybe the yard area is slightly larger in the space that is just outside the maid's toilet. Other than that, like that lor. 2.3 to 2.5 per square foot will see it transacting around like 3.4 to like maybe 3.68 million dollars. Now, everything at Parktown is much bigger at 1679 square feet, but they sold theirs at like 3.85 to like 4.05. This is around the $3.5 million range. Then this 5-bedroom definitely is a more preferred pick. And given this unit trades at the larger 4-bedroom Parktown unit's price and is only marginally more expensive than the Pinery 1389, my take is, if you are already venturing to this price range and if you can push it, then just push it for this largest unit. The top up isn't that significant and has a pretty strong buffer against all competition. Right, so for the point of layout and pricing, I think there's more hits than misses. The smaller unit type doesn't hold an advantage against Parktown, but the larger ones, the 3, 4, 5 bedroom efficient space, although a little bit smaller, but doesn't really compromise much on the livability factor. And because of the smaller square foot space, you should be able to get half a size bigger for each unit type if you compare with Parktown. Meaning if you have a budget for a 4 billion at Pinery, it's a price of a 3+ study at Parktown. If you look at the 3 billion premium Parktown unit price, you should be able to get like a 3+ study at Pinery. Literally half a size bigger. And that's very, very important, even if it ranges, of course, between 2,003 to 2,500 per square foot. Anything higher, then different story. Now, point number 3, location, MRT, and amenities. We are right on top of a pretty big mall. As mentioned, the total GFA for the commercial component should be much bigger than Parktown residences, even though our max GFA on paper is slightly lesser, because the latter has to accommodate like bus interchange, the communal space, so on and so forth. Given we are also connected to the MRT shuttle all the way via the basement, this is, as I mentioned, almost like an integrated development, just that we are still classified as a mixed development. And because Pinery is located at the edge of the mature estate, the desirability factor should give it an edge against all other competition. On top of a mall, across the road to an MRT line that leads to the CBD, Parktown 1 doesn't. How are you going to fall from there? Of course, only price might tilt you off balance. Point number 4, views. Not much views to really shout out, as it's more or less like surrounded by HDBs and the upcoming Reveal EC. Now, getting a pool facing might be a safer bet, but it's almost certain that the premium will be loaded on just that. So if you're going for investment, facing outwards with the noises coming from the road can still be quite manageable. Just try to avoid west sun if you can. All in all, for point number 1 of quality, Pinery is a mixed development that feels like an integrated development. I don't know, I said this how many times already. It is almost in the heart, or if not close to the edge of the mature estate of Tampines. That will be one of the selling points. Plot size is pretty big for an OCR project. Facilities are also sufficient. Layouts are pretty efficient. All the rooms can do a tad better by building like 9 square meter rooms, but 8.5 square meter in a mass market neighborhood is good enough. I don't see this as a deal breaker. Much of it will ultimately depend on the price, but so far we are looking pretty good. Now moving on to second circle or exit. Supply demand, given that Tampines is split into mostly 4 catchments, where we are now at sees us up mainly against the mega development Tampines Treasure. Comparing with the Tampines Avenue 10 cluster of properties is like pointing towards a wrong direction. If you know it, you know it. The next clusters are the Tampines North, where Parktown and all the EC sits. Other than that, the City Life and Tampines Trillium makes up for the remaining Tampines Central itself. So supply generally is quite limited, and given the convenience we get, this is as good as it gets. Okay. Next up, schools, 1 km to St. Hilda, Junyuan and Tampines Primary. Obviously, St. Hilda's is worth a mention, but being a location in Tampines where parents are not that crazy and obsessed about schools, it's always good to have, but not a deal breaker. Then transformation, not much going on here except this few plot of lands used to be empty and freeing up for residential purposes. It's just mainly doing what I call urban rejuvenation. You can talk all day long about what Changi Terminal 5, Paya Lebar, all these are just sales talks in my opinion. And finally, the target audiences. HDB upgraders, and more upgraders attracted to its location and convenience. Because Tampines, after all, is still Tampines, a very sought after township for those residing in the east. East side or west side debate, I don't like both. But if I had to take one, it's east side anytime, guys. Okay. Now the East Coast is not technically east, it's more like central east, but Tampines remains a coveted neighborhood for its history. Now, looking also at this point, I also expect quite a fair bit of upgraders coming from the western side of Pinery, which is the Bedok Reservoir catchment, Bedok North, Kaki Bukit, and maybe even like Ubi. All likely wouldn't mind going further out because of 1, the school factor, St. Hilda's. Almost forgot it's like 1 to 2 km to Red Swastika, which we'll see quite a fair bit of alumni wouldn't mind exploring this option. Number 2 is Bedok North, Bedok Reservoir, Kaki Bukit, and Ubi. They don't have proper amenities. So they are convenient, but the lack of a mall should still see strong interest in this. So for the exit strategy of Pinery, heart of OCL, the shopping mall at doorstep, right across is the MRT, big plot. The exit is going to be amazing. In conclusion, Pinery checks all the boxes of our QPE framework, at least for now. The quality looks amazing. It's not very atas, but given the type of neighborhood it is in, you need for atas for what? Layouts and sizes are both efficient and sufficient. Some of the smaller 2 bedrooms are just weird, but once it hits the like 3 to 4, 5 bedrooms, that's where the value shows. Again, I'm taking a call on this based on a pure investment point of view, which means that it doesn't take into account their own stay element. Of course, some might say,
Tampines to invest, even better than River Valley properties. What rubbish are you talking about?
Well, the only rubbish I'm evaluating is on which one will make more money for your buck. Now, River Valley locations are fantastic, but it doesn't mean that a superior location equates to a better investment. That's not how it works. Then again, for investment, I understand that this might not be suitable for you, as you might be someone who invests with certain level of emotions, meaning you want to buy at a location that you can visualize yourself living in. That's fine, because property investment or purchase can often be very emotional, and my job is to help you with the evaluation on what best that suits you. Because I always say this one thing to my agents, and even to consumers who reach out to me, there will always be people finding clients to fit a product, rather than finding a product that fits the client. At Pocket View, that's one of our main motto. It's walking this journey together to see what's best for you based on your requirements. So if you guys are planning or still looking around for an investment property, do reach out to us. You know our usual how we work. We have a high tendency of walking away, very high, because we are trying to watch after your downside risk. Now, if you'd like to visit Pinery and has no one to walk you through this same thing, you know the drill, call us. Ultimately, even if I have earmarked this as the launch we would like to focus on for the first half of 2026, if the price jumps to, let's say, 2,500 to like 2,800 per square foot, then that's a different topic altogether. The same thing I did for Parktown. We had a lot of investors looking at it, but when the price starts to deviate from our strike price, then we just move on, move on from there. If you take away emotions, then it's all about numbers. And if it's in the range of 2,003 to 2,500 per square foot, Pinery will be a solid pick above the likes of like Tengah, Lentor Gardens, River Modern, and even Vela Bay. Okay, the demand is going to be strong. The convenience is amazing. Just watch out for your price wherever you go.